The witch trials swimming test, a deadly ordeal. The witch hunts of the 16th and 17th centuries were a time of widespread fear and hysteria, where accusations of witchcraft could lead to gruesome trials and deadly punishments. Among the most savage methods used to determine guilt was the infamous swimming test, also known as ducking. This brutal test was based on the belief that water, being a pure element, would reject the presence of evil. Accused witches were subjected to this ordeal in a horrifying ritual that left them with almost no chance of survival. Here's how it worked: the accusation and preparation. Once someone was accused of witchcraft, they were often arrested and imprisoned based on little more than rumors or personal vendettas. The accused, bound by fear and facing an uncertain fate, would be taken to a body of water, typically a river or a pond. They were stripped down to their undergarments and had their hands and feet tightly bound. Sometimes a rope was tied around their waist to pull them out of the water if they sank, but this was not always the case. The test. The accused was then lowered into the water, sometimes from a boat or a wooden platform. The idea was that if the person floated, they were a witch, as the water was believed to reject their evil nature. If they sank, they were considered innocent. This cruel logic meant that survival itself was a sign of guilt. The outcome. The swimming test was a horrific and often deadly ordeal. If the accused floated, they were condemned as a witch and usually executed, often by hanging or burning at the stake. If they sank, they faced the very real risk of drowning before they could be pulled out, especially if there was no rope or if the rescue was delayed. In many cases, the test resulted in the death of the accused, regardless of the outcome. A savage example. One particularly chilling example occurred during the infamous witch trials in England. In 1612, an accused witch named Mary Sutton was subjected to the swimming test. Bound and thrown into the water, she floated, sealing her fate. She was later hanged as a witch, despite her protests of innocence. Stories like Mary Sutton's illustrate the barbarity and irrationality of the era, where mere suspicion could lead to a death sentence. The aftermath. The swimming test is now seen as a symbol of the irrational fear and cruelty that defined the witch hunts. Thousands of people, mostly women, were subjected to this and other barbaric tests based on superstitious beliefs and social hysteria. It wasn't until the Enlightenment and the rise of more rational and scientific approaches to justice that such practices were largely abandoned. This gripping and detailed account of the swimming test highlights the savage reality of the witch hunts and the terrifying ordeals faced by those accused of witchcraft.